Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us on our first YouTube video. This is Comic Book Campaign. It is a YouTube series dedicated to comic books. My name's Andrew, and I am joined by my good friend Rhett. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Rhett and I both enjoy comic books, and we really enjoy all the content that we see like on Instagram and YouTube, and we really enjoy all like the high level content that we see. But Rhett and I are self-proclaimed comic noobs, where we like comic books, we like the MCU, but we're really not familiar with a lot of the backstory, and we're not as knowledgeable as a lot of people on YouTube are. Um,
And what Andrew is saying about us being noobs, I haven't even read comics for an entire year.
yeah, and
So I'm like super, super new to this whole genre.
yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was I would just collect Walking Dead maybe for the past 8 years, and that was probably the only title that I would continually pick up. And I've tried over the years of picking up titles and trying to get into them, and a lot of the times I just kind of would fall off after a few issues. So that's where I'm at. I want to get back into reading comics on a full time basis and try to find titles that I would enjoy, and that's part of this YouTube series. Is what we're going to be doing every episode. Is Rhett and I are going to pick a comic. We are going to be reading the first 5 to 6 issues, probably the first trade paperback, and we are going to have homework like we're in eighth grade. We have a paper to write. So we're going to read the comic book, come back together on this YouTube channel for the first time, and to discuss what we liked and what we didn't like. And at the end of the video, we're going to either to decide if this is a title we want to continue to read, or if we're just going to shelf it and try to pick it up later.
And as you can see, this is totally unscripted.
Unscripted.
Yeah.
Unscripted. So let's get right into it. The first title Red and I picked was Outcast. So we both picked up this trade paperback. I think it has the first 6 issues. And Outcast is a title that I see currently at the local comic book stores. It's running right now. So it was a pretty easy choice because I see it, I was interested in it a little bit, and I was curious about it. So Outcast is written by Robert Kirkman, and it's from Image Comics. And Rhett, why don't you tell us something about what do you know about Robert Kirkman?
Well, I mean, you pretty much already mentioned it. I mean, he's the writer of The Walking Dead. I mean, he's
Oh,
a living legend.
Living Legend. So pretty
I mean,
much everyone would probably know Kirkman from The Walking Dead, and
well, hopefully,
yeah.
anybody that has seen the show,
Hmm.
anybody that has read the comics or whatnot knows his style, and hopefully hates Carl as much as I do.
Yes, I know your hate of Carl, and now everyone else will too.
Yeah,
Um,
it's no trade secret. I hate Carl
you hate
and
Carl.
everything that he represents.
Well, good. Well, he's not here with us anymore in the
Oh,
show
oh,
version.
is he dead?
You knew that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, now
I stopped
you stop
watching.
watching it. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people, they stop watching.
Okay.
But so give me
Which
your
a lot of people are going to do for with this.
right. I hope not.
Okay.
Um, give me your first. Give me like when you just give me a little synopsis of what the story's about in the first few issues of Outcast.
Yeah. There's a couple of main characters.
Hmm.
The one, his name's Kyle. He is. You first see him as a young boy.
Hmm.
It's probably teenage years or whatnot. I think he's 16, and he is you learn that he is possessed by some sort of demon, or you think that he's possessed by
Yeah.
some sort of demon. His mom brings a local priest in to exorcise the demon out, and he actually does. There's a demon that comes out, and then it fast forwards to the present or the
Hmm.
future, where Kyle is living in his childhood home alone by himself, which, like the title itself, he's an outcast.
Yeah. Let's talk about the title. Well, let's jump right into the title. I know for me, when reading the first 5 or 6 issues, Outcast is brought up in a kind of cheesy way, which really turned me off. I feel like it was like a C-rated movie where it was like Too Fast, Too Furious, and you're just waiting for some B character to say like, "Whoa, you're going too fast and you're too furious." So that was a real turnoff for me. I really didn't like that. There's a part in the first few issues where he meets someone possessed by a demon, and the demon recognizes the main character as a cast out, and then I think they reference as an outcast, so it's kind of a play on the words. I thought it was super cheesy. It's one of the things that I really disliked about the first 5 issues. It wasn't like a make or break, but it just felt cheesy.
I mean, yeah, with Kirkman using the word outcast, I agree with you that it's kind of cheesy. But as the title, it's kind of nice. It's
Yeah,
like the Walking Dead, where the title itself, it sort of gives you exactly what you're sort of expecting.
yeah,
The Walking Dead, almost ultimately you're going either vampire or in this case zombies or whatnot. And in Outcast, you're wondering, okay, you're introduced to this first character. Is he a loner? Is he going to be a psychopath? Is he going to be a serial killer? Or is it another apocalypse story where he's alone and he's the only person alive?
yeah.
Or something else, which you find out that it's about demons possessing bodies, and
Yeah.
Kyle is alone
So
in some sense.
So take me through the rest of the first few issues. So we've got the main character. He was possessed as a child. He lives at his. So we go past and present. So we kind of do some flashbacks, which I really enjoy in the comic. I thought that was one of the part of the imagery I really enjoyed. I get lost sometimes when there's like a flashback, or you have to learn dates really quickly and go like, okay, this is this date and this is when this happened. So I thought the imagery of the past and present of the main character was awesome in this issue. I loved it. That was one of my favorite parts of the imagery of the comic.
Yeah, Kirkman did an awesome job with the text, alluding to that, and not only continuing in chronological order from in the past, but also in the present. When he goes back and forth,
Yeah,
it's in chronological order, and the story makes sense. And I agree with you.
yeah,
It was pretty awesome. But also where you're talking about the imagery, the paneling, the
oh,
illustrations in themselves are really cool too. That you almost have like these magnifying glass or like snapshots of big, sort of like some comics have the full centerfold action shots. It's almost like the action shots are sometimes in these really small panels showing you what's actually happening. Like, for an example, you get to see Kyle biting somebody's hand, and you see the panel of a finger being bitten off, which, I mean, I don't know
yeah,
about you. I mean, it's gross and disgusting, but cool. I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I really did. I enjoyed that too. I thought the paneling and the super zoom on a small panel within the panels, I thought that was awesome. So that's two positive things for me with the imagery, which I really
Yeah.
liked. Something I really enjoyed too was the play off of the light and dark. Um, there's parts where the main character meets up with the priest who is exorcised him in the past, and now he's following the priest, and they actually do like an exorcism in the in
Yeah.
the in the present.
It's almost like a Batman and Robin sort of thing, where it's
Yeah,
the priest is is a main character, but he's definitely a secondary character. He's
Hmm.
out searching or hearing about these other people that are possessed, and
Yeah.
Kyle is going with him to exorcise the demons out of these
Yeah.
people. Now, there are a couple of ways that is really cool that both Kirkman and the illustrator, the artist, cast these demons out. That
Mm.
Kyle's touch. If he touches somebody, you see that he's hurting them.
Hmm.
You see him crying on somebody, and that hurts them. And something about Kyle's blood that is extremely potent and it really hurts people
Hmm.
too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's something about him itself, but it's not just a touch or something he
Yeah.
says. It's everything that he possesses is a healer of some sort.
Yeah. So let's go full circle. So we kind of started with what the series was about, and we kind of touched on some things. But yeah, so basically we're following a main character who was exorcised, and then we're at the present. He meets up with the priest who exorcised him. They have like adventures of where they go around, and I mean, and they and we also get introduced to like this kind of possible devil character.
Yeah. This is a
So
play on good and evil,
good
pretty
and
much.
evil, yeah. Let's talk about. I want to talk about setting up a series because I feel like I don't know. I like linear stories more, where you just kind of pick up a story and you just go. I feel like with
Mhm.
I'm kind of torn between. I feel like there's so many avenues that the series can go. I mean, there's stuff they bring up about his past. The main character was married and he has a child, but he's kind of an outcast because there's like these hints that he harmed the child in some way. So everyone hates him. There's the exorcism past. There's his what's going on with his mother. There's a relationship with his sister. There's the devil figure. I feel like Kirkman, and it just feels so overwhelming that the comic can go on forever, which I know he said about like The Walking Dead was like this can just go on forever about Rick, and Rick's the main character, and
Right.
I'm
And in the first in these first six comics, you don't know if it's just this town that Kyle's living in, that all
yeah,
the, it's people around him that are possessed, or if it's the entire town that's possessed, or like in The Walking Dead, it might be the entire,
yeah,
United States or the world or wherever you're put in. The entire world is possessed.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right. It could go on forever. So
yeah.
it that is kind of daunting.
But I feel like in general, when you are starting a series, you're trying to set up as many possibilities as possible. So I'm kind of in between.
Possibilities is
Possibilities
possible.
possible.
Nice.
So with any,
Nice.
you're trying to set up the series. You're trying to set up the main characters, what the story is, where is it going. I just feel like a little overwhelmed with it can go in so many ways, and this can go in so deep. I'm kind of hesitant to go in all the way because I know with Kirkman with Walking Dead, it's just it can go on forever, and where's the story going? I feel like you mentioned like the Batman and Robin thing, like that could totally be the series. It's just him with the priest, and I can see the priest being upset at him because he might be better at exorcising demons than the priest, and then the priest saying, "What's going on with my religion?" And I thought I was this priest, and but you're just this kid who has some kind of power. I can see that.
Does the priest say something like "Holy Metal Mountain Batman" or something like that?
No, he should
No,
though. Hopefully,
he should. Yeah,
in issue 7, which we have not
I
read
I
yet.
would I would read it the next issues just for that.
Yeah, me too. That'd be good.
So let's go on something. We talked a little bit about the plot or whatnot.
Hmm.
What about the art itself? I mean, comics are pretty much, you have the story,
Yeah,
you have the art, and the two of us just went to C2E2 in Chicago. And if you've never been, I mean, it's pretty awesome. You have Artist Row, where
Hmm.
you get to meet the artists of all of these comics and people that you just sort of know their name and their art, and you really don't link the two together. And then they also have the writers too that
Hmm.
show up as well. Let's talk a little bit about the art in
Yeah.
Outcast.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if I'm picking a new comic, I'll definitely just skim through the issue and just see if the art captures me to see like, oh my gosh, this art style is awesome. Um, it was pretty neutral for me. The actual artwork was good. It wasn't like a negative.
Yeah,
Um,
and the sketches are pretty solid.
they're
They're
good.
really good. Yeah.
They're good. If I saw it, I would definitely. I feel like every time you try to pick up a new comic, you're either what are you really looking for? Because it's so quick. You're thinking, okay, what's the synopsis and do I like the artwork? So
Yeah, and to me, I feel like comics are definitely hey, or especially new comics, I should say. It's hey, I am picking this up because of the cover.
yeah, the cover,
Pretty,
and just the artwork in general. Yeah. So the
yeah,
artwork for me, um, I the artwork for me, I would say is pretty neutral. It's not the reason why I picked it up. I mean, the reason why we picked it was because of just the Kirkman connection of Walking Dead and then another title by him that I was familiar with. So there really wasn't it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to pick this up. But I think the artwork is good. It was not a negative for me. So if I didn't know the Kirkman connection, I would pick it up and go, okay, this looks good, and I like the
yeah.
art style.
Same here. It's a very dark comic.
Yeah,
And the imagery, the art, it reflects that
yeah,
perfectly. It's very dark in the drawings. It's very dark with the paint, the colors.
yeah. And
The
we
colors are really, I mean, nothing really stands out, or there's not
mhm.
a lot of like bright colors to
Yeah,
brighten up the story because it is a
it's a
dark
dark.
subject, and the art is really dark too.
Yeah, and they do a good job of. I liked when there's definitely light and dark in the comic when he's with like a demon and with and without a demon. There's imagery of the priest smoking and there's smoke coming out, and that kind of looks similar to the smoke that comes out when someone was exorcised. So I liked how they
The-
played with the imagery and the artwork with this
yeah,
storyline.
just sort of to go off of that, like the first panel that you see is the priest is playing poker,
Yeah.
and his friends that he's with, there one is smoking, another person has a cup of coffee, and there's smoke or whatnot, and it plays on. I guess the poker is supposed to be
Yeah, you shouldn't be
evil.
gambling.
Yeah, you shouldn't be gambling when you're a priest,
Right,
apparently.
apparently. But they have to pay for like activity and construction for the
Yeah, their
church. So how are
rosaries.
they supposed to get the money? So so
Right.
that was a good. I like that in the story. Um, so we discussed the comic. Now we're gonna do our verdict, I guess. So we read
Verdict,
verdict,
rating scale or
rating scale,
whatnot.
verdict.
Yeah.
So Rhett, are you after reading the first like 6 issues, the first trade paperback? What are you thinking? Is this a title that you want to continue to read?
To me, yes. I got into the characters enough that I would like to continue reading it
Mm,
just to see where it goes or it
yeah,
leads. And if it stays in this small realm that it is, it might get more interesting.
yeah.
But you're right. If it moves to, oh, you find out that the entire world is possessed, I don't know about that, man. Don't know.
You don't know. So you're gonna keep reading with hopes. You're gonna keep reading with
Yeah,
hopes.
just to find out what Sydney or the Satan
The Satan characters.
character Satan character does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting and fun.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you want to continue reading it.
Andrew, how about you? Do you want to continue?
I I'm really torn.
Get out of here.
I'm
No,
super torn.
we're doing this already.
It's the first
Our
episode.
first episode. No, we can't do this. What are you
Yeah,
talking
we're
about?
doing it. We're doing it.
All right.
I
Are we throwing gloves down?
we're throwing gloves on. No. No.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but I think the exhaustion from Walking Dead and just the unlimited storyline and just I think I'm exhausted, and I can already feel how much and how broad this story is going to be. So I think I'm going to shelf it and not continue reading it. But I did enjoy a lot of things with it. I just feel like maybe you should read it, and then when you're like 20 issues in, tell me, okay, you need to get back into it because now it's really good. But right now, I'm
Okay.
gonna say no. I'm excited to pick our next comic and talk about it in our next episode.
Which
Um,
is what is our next comic that we're gonna do?
I think we might do Revival, which is another comic that I have currently from the library and the first trade paperback. So I think we're going to be doing Revival next episode or
Okay.
Trees. Trees. I met the writer of Cemetery Beach and Trees at C2E2. He was such a nice guy. I got the first trade paperback signed by him. I picked it up there, and he was super nice. He told me about Trees, how it's more of like a narrative, and it's more of like a
Wait, he
lost
told you about trees?
Trees. Yeah, his
Did he
series.
did he talk to you about like deciduous
No,
forests? No.
no, it's about
Okay.
aliens. I think you're gonna like it. It's about
Oh,
aliens.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll probably do that. So, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to anyone who watched this video, especially to the end. Please like and comment down below if you please say something constructive. This is our first video. We would
And
love to.
you can
You
make
can,
fun of us too.
yeah, you just
Whatever you want to do. I
say something
mean,
negative,
we're
positive.
34 years old
30.
and we're talking about comics.
Yeah, I'm 33. I'm almost
Oh,
34.
that's right. That's right.
It's all about comics, yeah.
I'm a year old, yeah.
Yeah.
But just to everybody, these are our
Oh, yeah.
opinions. We are comic book noobs and we're dweebs. We don't,
Yeah.
these are our thoughts. We are definitely not experts, and that's the whole purpose of
Yeah.
this video is we're just trying to have fun and
Yeah.
introduce you guys.
Yeah. And if you know something about Outcast that we don't, that we totally missed in the first 5 or 6 issues that, oh my gosh, they totally missed on this one thing. And that's the reason why I continue to read it. Comment
Yeah,
down below and tell us, and we'll be like, oh, we should totally pick it up again because of that thing. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to
Hey,
having you. Oh,
before we leave though, you were going to give something
oh, I was going to give
away.
something away. So, I have this Avengers No Road Home #5. I've heard it's popular. It's the
Wait,
first
five. So that's between 4 and 6,
4 and
right?
6. It's the 5th issue. It came out
Okay.
pretty recently. I think like 2 weeks ago. So all you have to do to win this is like and comment down below something, and we will pick a winner, and I will get in touch with you through YouTube or Instagram, and I will announce the winner on our second video. So it's totally free. I'll send it to you. I'm looking forward to the winner and winning it and enjoying it. Rhett, any parting words?
It's game 2 of the MLB, dude.
Oh my gosh. Go Sox.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs. Go.
Youth.
Fly the L for the White Sox.
Oh, I see where you went with that. Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, and we'll see you next episode.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Yep.